Welcome on back to another episode of Roundball podcast. It's myself and Hunter Dickinson. Jordan has had a meal that's lasted 4 hours, it seems, and he definitely just sat down at exactly when we're supposed to record. And it's like, oh, this food, man, because we'll never find out. This I should call the restaurant. I should call the restaurant and see if he's still there because he's still saying that he's at dinner, and he missed the interview with our guy John Fanta at the end of the podcast. John Fanta for 45 minutes, just talking about college basketball, mostly the Big East. So we will get into that. We'll make this part a little shorter because I was talking to Champa. I was like, that was like the most we talked about basketball in a while. Like
Yeah.
that was real basketball talk, right?
No, that was a good 45 minutes of just straight deep diving into the Big East.
Yeah, and just talking ball with the boys. But
Well, that's
before we
good
get into
because I
this,
mean we get talked about for being a biased Michigan podcast. We talk about a lot about Iowa. We don't dive into the Big East as much in other conferences. So I think this was good for the listeners to kind of get a professional reporter's view on what's going on in the Big East.
yep. Before we get into the episode, I want to talk to you about our presenting sponsor, High Noon Hard Seltzer. High Noon Hard Seltzer is the best vodka seltzer in the game. They got one of the best logos. Like every time you see it, it just makes you happy because you think about it being in the sun, bring it on the boat, drink it at the bar, drink it at a game, drink it at home, put it on ice. That's what I love. I take a nice black cherry out of the fridge, pour it on ice, and go watch some Michigan and Duke basketball as a Duke Michigan fan as of this year. Um, but it's the best drink in the game because it's real vodka. It's none of the malt nonsense like these other drinks that just make your mouth taste disgusting. That's not High Noon. High Noon is the best drink of all time. So go get it on Drizzly at your local liquor store. They're sold everywhere. It's the number one drink for a reason. So that's High Noon Hard Seltzer. Thank you for being the best presenting sponsor of all time. All right, Hunter. Two quad one wins now. It is two quad one. We had zero before the
Stacking them
last
up.
podcast, and Maryland moved up to a quad one win. And Northwestern, you won an away game besides Minnesota, which is wow. Look at you. Hey, I'll say it right away. This is the two best games you guys had in a long time. And you have good games, and then the next game you usually look like shit. It was two well put together games from start to finish. And I feel like one has to do with you scoring 25 points today and like actually being the source of offense. And two, you guys got going early in both games. Like I think Doug hit a three today or Kobe or something like early on. It's like you guys I don't think ever trailed today ever.
Yeah, no, I don't think we did. I think we came out from the jump and just jumped on them and really never gave up that lead. Like they were always in striking distance. Like they were always within 6 to 8 points, I think,
Yeah, it
throughout
was
the
close
game.
all game.
But we just never let them get on that run that usually teams, early on in the season would go on and either make it like a tied game or go up four with like 4 minutes left, and then we'd have to try to claw back and do that. So we did a really good job of just guarding them. We knew that it was going to be a one-on-one game, kind of. We knew we were going to guard their sets, and once everything broke down, it was going to be a one-on-one with Suing or Sensible because those are two really good one-on-one guys, and they got big bodies. Like, and out there in the game, like I was just seeing how like they just got them broad shoulders, and they're really trying to put that shoulder into you. So my guys did a really good job out there playing one-on-one defense. But like you said, we strung together 2 wins in a row, two quad one wins, and so or actually no, one quad one win, but another win
Maryland
over
just
our
did you
rival.
know Maryland moved up to quad one win?
Yes, I saw it on Twitter. I saw it on Twitter.
That's a source of news.
Yeah, no, that is probably my biggest source of news, honestly, is Twitter. I know that's not a good thing, but
I mean,
really
that's
don't.
I think that's every like
Yeah,
our
and
age.
that's really bad because it's like,
Half it's fake.
yeah, because I can tweet about something political and
I have no idea what you're
True.
talking about.
Yeah.
All right, so let's. I mean, this is the most recent, so we'll talk about today's game against Ohio State. You come off an away game, a road win, which is huge. Um, Let me ask you a question because you obviously realized it, I hope, during the game was when I forget his name, so I apologize to him, but the backup center, not Key, the guy who you
Opara?
literally just yeah, you literally just backed him down every single time. And they were talking about him, I was like, he just started playing basketball 4 years ago. He was a soccer player. Like, that doesn't mean he's not good. Like, he's playing D1 in the Big Ten. Like,
Yeah.
he's good. He's young though, and you just got to your spot, did whatever the fuck you wanted to him. And Key didn't start to the second half. He's been struggling. I know he's a shoulder injury, but like when he came in, did you know it's like I'm going to do whatever I want. I need to take this game over because
When
it was
when
also
Beckham Big Man came
crucial.
in?
It was because it was crucial. He because Key didn't start the second half, and it was crucial because you were only up at like 4 at one point, and then you just rattled off 6 points in a row. So did you realize that? Like, I need to do what I can here?
Uh, I knew once Key got out that I was hoping that, I would be able to get in, a little bit easier because Key is, I mean, like he's pretty stout. Like there's not a lot of
He's a
movement.
big boy.
Yeah, like and like he's he's like I don't want to call him a bowling ball, but like he's like solid.
He's strong. Yeah, he's
Yeah,
strong.
and
Yeah, I know
so
what you mean.
like he's a little bit harder to move, obviously. So once he came out, I was hoping that it'd be a little easier. But I think I got a little bit lower, and I really try to get that deep post position, like starting in deep and then working my way out. But I think the guards did a really good job of dribbling down and making that pass easier, so I didn't have to get off my spot. So I'd catch it on the block instead of catching it off the block. I think that made a big difference for me. But just trying to make my catches as close to the rim as possible because then the double team can't come. I know sometimes it was weird. They would double team me on some plays, not double team me on some, but just trying to make my moves as fast as possible and not let the double team come. And I was just super happy to not get double teamed as much as I've been in the past recently. I feel like people actually saw what I'm capable of versus, one on one.
Which almost sucks because like I feel like some people are gonna watch tape on that and be like, okay, well, we're not gonna let him go one on one because sometimes they would double team you. They just fouled you. Like they weren't doing it correctly either.
Yeah, no, I
But your
mean,
passing, I will say, was on point today. You were making fucking crazy passes across court, which is that is when you guys are dangerous because you can pass. You're almost a pass first guy in those situations. And when Kobe's been playing like Jet had what 12 points today,
I think he had 16.
12 to 6. Like he didn't have like a crazy game. He played well, but you had Doug, you had Baker, you had Kobe. That's when you guys are dangerous. When those guards are helping out and you're going to get your 19 to 26 points like every game. This is what you're usually at. That you guys are dangerous. You are. I don't give a fuck what anyone says. I think you are. And you have a lot of opportunities now to do that. Like Nebraska, again, I know I say must win, but like that's just like you can't lose that game. You just can't. Um, but in Indiana, who just beat the best team in the country, coming to you guys is fucking huge for your guys' season right there.
Oh yeah, I mean that. Yeah, you don't want to take anybody lightly because Nebraska just beat Penn State, and so like obviously Nebraska is capable of beating anybody because I mean obviously Penn State beat us, so that's a game that is obviously must win, but it's not a game where we're going in there thinking that we're going to win by 20. That's a game that we're going in there knowing that we got a fully game plan for whatever Nebraska is going to do. We know they're going to come in with some good sets. We're going to have to guard Tomiyaga because he just came off a 30-point outing, and so he's going to be somebody that we're definitely looking at.
Bro, that guy seems so funny. He like flipped off the camera at one point. So like that guy's sick, bro. I love him.
If I did that, oh, it would be.
Oh yeah, but hey, dude, he's so much cooler than you.
That is pretty funny. I laughed at that.
No, yeah. So I mean, what's like the locker room been like now? Is it a little lighter now? Like, is it a little breathing? Like you're not you're in no means in a good spot. Like
Yeah.
you guys all know that. You're making it better for yourself for sure. But like give me a little insight on what the locker room's like.
I would say it's still. I would say if I could put it into words, we ain't done yet, type of thing. Like I think everybody knows that we're doing what we need to do, but it's like we still have a long way to go. Like we've dug a really big hole, and so for us to get out of it, it's going to take. You can't get back in one game. It's not a one game fixer. Just like when you're down like 15 points, you don't have a 15-point shot. You got to do it one possession, one game at a time. And so for us, just we're on to Nebraska now. We got to try to go 1-0 in our next one, and just try to keep that mentality for the rest of the season. Just going 1-0, taking game by game, slowly working it.
I mean, we're gonna do this right now. This is me talking. We're gonna look at you taking one game at a time for sure. You got to beat Nebraska. That's just a fact. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You have eight games left.
Damn, the season's gone by so fast, man.
I know it really has.
It goes by so fast.
What's
Once you
giving
get it,
you a
once you get
win?
into February, that's when it's like, damn, the season's
Yeah.
almost up.
So we're gonna give you a win against Nebraska. That's me saying it. 1-0.
You're talking right now, not
I'm
me.
talking, bro. This is not that bad of a schedule. It's not. Like, all right, Nebraska should be a win. Indiana at home is tough no matter what, but that's a winnable game. Like you and Trace are gonna be on each other, right? Like, do you think you'll get double teamed with them, right?
Man, I wish I didn't, because we're not going to double team him, because I would never want a double team, but
You don't need a double team. You can
I would assume they double team me. Just
um
given track record with previous Big Ten teams.
yeah. But then like Wisconsin, Michigan State, Rutgers, Wisconsin is not the craziest. Like the last two games, as Fanta said, like are huge. Like at Illinois, at Indiana to end your season is got to win one of those. But bro, these games are winnable. That's why you can beat anyone, especially you beat Indiana. You know they beat Purdue. Like that means you could literally beat anyone in the country.
Yeah,
How's Jawan during these situations? Is he like
I think he's probably saying, the same thing that I've been saying is on this pod. It's just like we're taking it one game at a time. We can't we can't get it all back in one game. Like, yeah, it's great that we won this game. We're gonna like celebrate it. We had a lot of fun being a rival, but now we gotta focus on Nebraska, because they're a really good team. Like, obviously, I'm not gonna come out here and try to say like they're like Purdue on Purdue's level, but like they're a good team. They just beat Penn State, and so we know we're gonna have our hands full, and so we need this game. It's a must-win game, and we're gonna try to go out there and play with the energy that we have the last two games.
oh yeah, you put again, the Northwestern one was a game that you needed for sure. And that's where I think I was like, okay, they have a chance because that was desperation time in my
We
book.
got a chance, Marty. At the end of the day, just all you want is a
For
chance.
sure. For sure. You guys put yourself in a situation now that you have a chance.
That's all you need.
That is. No, you for sure do. I don't know how else to put it. You definitely do. I'm trying to look that Northwestern game. Was it Wednesday?
Yeah. No. Thursday. Thursday. It was Thursday.
Thursday? All right. That Northwestern game to cover it really fast. I mean, you beat the shit out of them. It was 68-51. You had 19. I don't get how someone as tall as you only gets 3 rebounds, but I'm not going to say
Well,
anything.
well, I mean, when you had guys getting 12 rebounds and 10 rebounds on your team, it's kind of hard to get.
That is true. Kobe did have 12, and
They
Terrence.
were shooting a lot of jump shots, and the way the ball was coming out the rim, they were just long rebounds. It was just
But
one of those.
in that game, Joey Baker 5 of 6, 3 of 4 from 3. Like, bro, if he can do that, Like, he's not going to do that every game, but if he can do that off the bench, that helps you guys so much.
And I will say, I want to give a shout out to the Iowa basketball team for running the hell out of Northwestern literally 2 days before. And just thank you for your upbeat style of play, your fast play, making them very tired running them so that when they came time to play us, they were a little tired. You could see it the way they were subbing. Like they were subbing like three at a time, two at a time, like every 3 minutes because they had just played 2 days ago. And so they were one day less of rest than normal due to them having COVID within the team. So I do want to shout out Iowa. You had a part in this win, even though you guys beat us. And stole a win from us that would have been really helpful. Thank
That
you.
one's going to bite you in the ass.
Yeah, no, that one hurts. That one hurts a lot.
And Northwestern beat Wisconsin today at Wisconsin.
I saw that, and in between our break, I went and saw the TV. I saw that.
They swept them the first time since '96, which is crazy.
Wow.
All right, that's enough Michigan because, I mean, the games happened. It was this week is you look, I mean, I don't care what you say. You're obviously only caring about Nebraska right now, but eyes are on Indiana on Saturday. We'll talk more about that on the next episode. A couple more games to talk about. First thing, you talk about Iowa. They brought out the Boys and Girls Club during halftime, featured them during the game. People are all upset, and it's like, I respect Iowa for this. Like, yeah, the kid, I think I saw the kid admitted that he's like, yeah, we didn't like pose as them, but we did say we were like Boys and Girls Club. It's like, well, you did. Like, you got discounted tickets saying, like, why would you say the Boys and Girls Club? It makes no sense. Like, they would let you, they have to let you in. You're allowed to be a different fan, but if you pose as a Boys and Girls Club, like, you just can't do that to a team that waves to the Children's Hospital. You just simply can't.
Yeah, no, that is pretty bad, especially their relationship with the Children's Hospital. But I mean, you gotta love a good troll. I feel like even Illinois fans could have appreciated that troll. Of
And Iowa won, so like they won it all, dude. Like they won
yeah,
the troll and the game. That's huge.
you gotta appreciate a good troll, man. Like, come on.
Oh yeah, for sure. And it sucks where it's like their fans because like they didn't do anything, but they did fuck up. I finally get to talk about my team because it was a big game.
Big win,
Duke
Morgan.
UNC, ginormous games. Your boy Roach played fantastic. Get him on the fucking podcast. Text him again. He said he'd come on, no?
He did say he's coming on. I got to get him on now.
They won, so well, they play Miami tomorrow, so if they win that, we can get him on. He played great. Derek Lively. So I have a question for you because we talked about Derek Lively. He's number one recruit in college basketball. Literally number one recruit, goes to Duke. He was at one point coming off the bench because he was terrible. He was just not doing anything. Was it very hard to get I know you had a really good team freshman year, but as a big, was it a little tough to get used to college basketball? Because I feel like a guard is always gonna like you can speed up
Yeah,
your play. You
yeah,
can, but you're always gonna find your shots. You know where to go. You can always pick and roll is the same at every
yeah,
level.
yeah.
But a big, these are men you're going up against now. It's not in high school.
Yeah, I think we talked about this on the last pod. Like the difference between the guards is a lot less because of like they're usually around the same size. With bigs, there's the maturity factor of like age, strength, and that stuff. Like as a freshman coming in, you're not going to be as physically developed unless you're Zion Williamson than Armando Bacot, who's a senior, been in UNC for 4 years. Like you're just not going to be as developed. You're not going to be as strong as him. And so yeah, there's definitely like a adjustment curve. Like I went through it. Fortunately, I went through it like with my teammate Austin Davis early on in like the summer instead of we're in January, like when he was in January, December, stuff like that. And so I had that adjustment period earlier, but I think for me, like I was always a bigger center. Like I've pretty much stayed the same weight, probably added some muscle, lost some fat, but pretty much stayed the same weight. I think him right now probably would benefit from like another year of maturing, but I think for him, his best days are ahead of him, probably in the NBA as a rim protector. Like I think that's what he's going to be known as, like what he did versus UNC. Like he had eight
8 blocks,
eight
bro.
blocks, 12 rebounds, and only had 4 points. But he's the guy they're interviewing at the end of the game because he's making the difference out there. Like obviously Roach scored, I think 20,
Hmm.
but like having that rim protection,
He
his
won the
freshman,
game for sure with that defense, for
yeah,
sure.
and so I think it was a little bit unfair expectations for him at the beginning of the year because of that number one ranking, but just he's just trying to find an impact any way he can on that team would probably be my advice for him. Like, yeah, you're not going to be the guy who's going out there and scoring like 20 in every game every night. It's just probably not going to be you. But if you can go out there and get 8 points, 10 rebounds, and 5 blocks, like you'll make your way onto an NBA roster for sure.
Bro, he's like well, at this point he should come back, but that's a different story. Like if Baycott's gonna go 6 of 12, 14 points, I will take that any single day of the week because he usually can do whatever the fuck he wants. And a freshman doing that to Baycott is ginormous. And he 8 blocks is I think that gets his confidence completely up. And his 2 of his 4 points was at the biggest opportunity on off of Roach
Yeah,
miss and a putback. And I will say that win for Duke was huge. They needed. I mean, they're 17-6. They're completely fine. They actually probably might be ranked tomorrow. But isn't it crazy that he has 39 field goals this year and 31 are dunks? That's insane. Eight times he's laid it up, and then I think he actually hit a three this year, but like 39 field goals and 31 are dunks. That's insane.
that is a crazy stat.
You know how many dunks you have?
No, no, I
Uh,
don't.
that's a tough stat to
Did I
keep
have one
track.
today? No, I didn't have one today.
Oh,
I know I had two versus Northwestern.
you might have had one today.
I
Uh,
don't think I don't think I had one today.
Um, but yeah, and then a couple other games we'll run through because I know you guys like us talking about all your teams, but
I mean, it's a Duke Michigan podcast right now,
it is a Duke Michigan podcast right now. Which
especially when our teams win. Like, come on now.
Virginia lost to Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech's making a surge back when they were completely done. They have beat Duke, beat Virginia, huge. Iowa State beat the fuck out of Kansas, which
Oh, that was a huge win for them.
was huge win. I find I will respect Iowa State. I can respect that.
I'm not gonna lie, I haven't really seen much of Iowa State. I don't think ever in my life. It's just a team that I haven't really watched. Not
Bro,
gonna,
I agree with you. It's just a
I
team
don't
that's never
nothing
on my
against them,
TV.
nothing against them, but just like
I have no problem with Iowa State. Seem like nice people.
yeah,
They're never on my TV ever.
I know they probably don't like the podcast because of our other member, but
Who's
yeah,
eating dinner for 6 hours?
yeah, but,
Um,
yeah. I have no hate towards Iowa State.
Rutgers
Well,
6.
the whole state of Iowa, no bad blood,
Nice
no
people
bad,
too. They love corn, and they're just nice. That's
and
it.
they're for the children. How
Yeah.
can you hate people for the children?
Rutgers was rocking at
They turn
MSG.
MSG up.
And that's impressive for that. I'm officially attending back-to-back Michigan games in February.
Yes, sir.
I'm officially going to Michigan State at Michigan. I need to text your guy. We're gonna have a video of like day in the life of Hunter Dickinson on a rivalry weekend, which will be great. And then on Thursday when I come back, I'm going to Rutgers as well.
There you go.
If you don't dap me up at both games before the game or after, I'm gonna lose my mind. But that was a big win for them. Baylor beat the fuck out of Texas Tech after Texas Tech's big win, which was huge. Tennessee Auburn. I watched this game because I'm a Tennessee guy. I think because I like talking to this one
I'm a
guy at
Tennessee
work
guy.
about it. Tennessee's got great defense, but man, I don't trust them for shit. That was one of the worst games I ever watched. It was 46-43. Didn't you have 41 points at halftime today?
Was it 41-36?
Yeah, I think so.
Or 41-35. 41-35, I think.
Yeah, you had 41. They had 46 points in 2 halves. And won the game, bro.
That's impressive, bro.
That's what I'm scared of. That they have the best defense in the country. They'll probably be number 1 tomorrow in the country.
Yeah.
Oklahoma State beat TCU. The Big 12 is fucking insane right now. The game that no one's talking about that I loved, Florida State, Louisville. Oh, what a doozy that was. 81-78, Florida State won. It was incredible. Iowa beat Illinois, which was huge. Miami beats Clemson. I'm a fan of Miami. I really am. I'm scared to play them tomorrow as Duke. Texas beat Kansas State on the road, which is a huge win. Texas is another team that I cannot figure out for the life of me. Just can't do it. A couple other games that were big. Xavier beat the shit out of St. John's. Mississippi State's becoming a team that you got to look out for.
Yeah, no, we were talking about
their defense is also very good, but they're a weird ass team. Kentucky won. Yeah, Creighton beat Villanova. Kentucky beats Florida. Maryland, I don't know how did they become a quad 1 win?
Well, because they've won, a couple in a row now.
They have been killing it.
Indiana. I think they beat Indiana.
And then, shucks, Drew Timme lost to St. Mary's in overtime. Let's talk about a conference that no one gives a fuck about this year. I haven't heard a single thing about Drew Timme this year. I haven't heard one thing. Have you? Like usually you're all hearing Gonzaga this, Gonzaga that, Drew Timme that. I haven't heard a single thing. He had 23 in the game, but like I just haven't heard anything. They're just not very good. I don't know what to tell you.
No, I think they're so good, but
I don't think they're as good. I don't think they're as good. We don't want to talk too long because the Champa fucking Fanta's fucking me up. But Fanta ran about. Oh my god, my Siri's talking to me. Tampa, my god, Fanta went on for like 45 minutes. So I don't want to bore you guys with more basketball talk. Real basketball talk is coming up right now. But we will see you guys on Thursday. And yeah, we'll see you Thursday. And here is the interview with John Fanta. All right. I want to welcome on a special guest. If you listen to our podcast last year with the Bench Mob, this guy was he was my go-to of all time. I would call him. He'd be taking a shit. He would answer a question I have about college basketball. And I even told Hunter about you. And I was like, dude, this guy, I'm telling you, just loves college basketball. Nicest guy ever. And that is John Fanta, the king of the Big East. How we doing, man?
Marty, it's great to be with you. Hunter, it's terrific to be with you guys as we're talking on a Sunday night. Tell you what, fellas, this is such a great time of year in the sport of college basketball. There's so much going on. Here we are 5 weeks away from Selection Sunday. How much do we know? Who the hell knows? The sport is wild. It's random. It's up in the air. But man, there's no... As much as we talk about how the postseason, there's no postseason like March Madness, the journey to that point, especially these last weeks where everybody's fighting, you got teams battling to get in, to hear their name called. Because as you know, Hunter, all you need is to hear your name called on that Sunday. Find a way to hear your school called, because then it's the only postseason where you could say, yeah, we got a shot, and we don't care where we are. Just look at St. Peter's. Look at Oral Roberts, baby.
That's what I was going to say. Everything you said was Hunter's season this year. It's like they got to take it one game at a time right now and just, Hunter, That's 2 wins. I don't know if you know this, Hunter. You have 2 quad 1 wins now.
Yeah.
Maryland counts as 1 now, as quad 1 win. So
if Pitt gets a couple more wins,
yeah, you can get that maybe 3.
we have been rooting for Pitt a lot recently.
You're a Pitt fan. You are
yes.
a big. You would be at the front of the zoo over there in Pittsburgh here if you could get over there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So Fanta, I'm a little. Jordan's made a comment last week on last week's show. That's why he's an idiot why he's not here. But he said that he's done with the Big East. He's not even count. What do you say, Hunter? He's not even counting them as a Power 5.
Yeah. He said you guys are not even a Power 5. Conference.
I was like, all right, well that's stupid.
It's a shot below the belt.
And I thought the same because like Xavier's one of the best teams like literally in the country right now.
We thought UConn was going to win the national championship in September, October.
So that's where I want you to kind of take us because we need an expert on this show. We talk about the Big Ten a lot because of Hunter and Jordan. Give us some insight on the Big East. I'll start with this question. Is Creighton back to being the Creighton that they were in the beginning of the year? Because I personally think that they're back to being Maui Creighton.
Well, I mean, for Jordan to be done with something, it would have meant that he would have had to be on the bandwagon to begin with, which it's great to be joining him tonight. Is Jordan on a date or? I mean, geez, I mean, last year's podcast on this channel, that guy Terrence, at least he showed up to the show. I mean, tonight you asked me to come on, and one of the cast members is on a date at PF Chang's, saying he was going to be here at 9 Eastern time. I mean, what's on time in the Big Ten? Come on.
Oh no, he's on Central Time, so he'll probably be on in about 53 minutes.
Yeah, he'll blame it on time zones just because.
Got it. Thanks so much, Jordan. Thanks again. Where do I stand on the Big East? So here's the deal this particular season. The Big East got off to a slow start. No question about it. And the depth of the conference looked as though it was lacking, which, to be fair, we'll start with the bad news. The bad news is that Georgetown, Butler, DePaul, St. John's are all not good.
Can I stop you for a second? Did you think St. John's would be like pretty good this year?
Well, I
thought so.
They are the team that's bipolar in their league. They're up, they're down. You don't know what you're getting from night to night. Okay,
sounds familiar.
So you really do not know what you're getting from evening to evening with them. The big thing, guys, is Villanova losing a Hall of Famer in Jay Wright. As you both know, Hunter, you know with Coach Wright what he meant to everything that they did.
Yeah.
The way that I liken it is, here's what you did. You had a restaurant keep its name, right? But you hadn't gone there in a while. And you walk into the restaurant and you see like some similar menu items. And then you try the wings and you're like, wait a minute. These are nothing like what they were before. And it's like, yeah, well, we kept the name the same, but we changed our owner and we changed our manager. Colin Gillespie's no longer the manager. And they really don't have a manager that's full-time because they don't have a full-time point guard. Mm-hmm. And as a result, that restaurant's not as good. Well, that's been the case here with Villanova this year, and it's just been a transition season for them. However, the flip side of it is there's been teams that have been much better than anywhere we could have imagined at this stage of the season. Nobody thought Marquette would be a top 15 team. Nobody had that. People didn't even think they'd be an NCAA tournament team. What Shaka Smart's done is one of the best coaching jobs in America. He's got a top 5 Ken Pom offense. Cam Jones and Tyler Kolek are wicked good. Kolek has 189 assists on the season, which is ridiculous. So they've been great. Xavier has been really strong. I think we all thought that Sean Miller would keep them rolling. Providence, Ed Cooley's one of the best 5 coaches in America. You asked me, Marty, about Creighton. So let's answer the question. Let's talk about those Blue Jays. For those that are saying, well, Creighton's back to the level that they were on, I agree partially with that. But I will say this. This team was not only missing Ryan Kalkbrenner, when they lost to 6 games in a row, but they were disconnected. There were some egos at play, and they had to work some things out because there's only one basketball, and you've got Baylor Shireman, you've got Trey Alexander, you've got Art Kaluma. And let's face it, guys, and Hunter, I'd be curious to get your thoughts on this. Like, for me, when I was at Creighton games early in the season, I kept hearing on press row from other scouts being like, yeah, Art Kaluma's trying to get to the, he's a guy that's on the NBA radar. And honestly, there were moments when Art Kaluma's honestly trying to make the NBA play. Now, can Art make that play? Yes. But I do think that in a player's head, sometimes that you've got the look of an NBA scout. You've got the awareness from that world. You have to balance in your head how you do the right things from a winning perspective, from a team perspective, which those things end up mattering more than anything, while also understanding that, yeah, I am a pretty good individual talent, and I could help my team win in the process. I think Creighton had to deal with that early in the season. I think things got shelved out. I think they had some internal meetings. Greg McDermott's got great culture there, and Kalkbrenner coming back healthy. I mean, they've been just a different team with Ryan Kalkbrenner in the equation, and it's what has led them to being a team that I think could still make it to an Elite Eight, could be on the Final Four radar, because if you get to the Elite Eight, why not? They are on the level that we thought that they could be on. They're not necessarily deep, but that starting 5 is as good as any you're going to find on their best day. Kalkbrenner is outstanding at protecting the rim, and you have an elite big with Creighton, who's typically known for their guard play. They've got an it factor.
You kind of touched on a question I had for you, Mr. Fanta. Which team, because you said, the Big East is kind of loaded at the top, which team do you think has the best chance at making a deep run in this tournament?
Yeah, I would lean towards Creighton because of the experience factor and because of the balance, and I think they're a willing defensive team. But I got to tell you guys, Marquette, to me, is a really, really dangerous team. And I think part of the reason why people don't think of them as that is their Marquette. They haven't won an NCAA tournament game in a decade.
Damn.
It's been a while.
That's crazy.
Holy shit. I didn't know it was that long.
10 years.
10 years. Guys, think about this. 10 years ago, Buzz Williams had led Marquette to a 3rd consecutive Sweet 16. Like, they were making the second weekend every year. And I think that was the allure for Shaka Smart of like, hey, I can go back to my home state of Wisconsin. I could do what I want to do there. And I can enter into Marquette. They're going to spend money. Marquette spends. They've got resources out the wazoo in men's basketball. And it can work. And I can get my guys. Like at Texas, he had to win the offseason too. He had to get the 5-star kid because it's freaking Texas.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, Texas is the big flashy store that you look at and you say, I really want to walk in. And then you walk in and you find everything's expensive and you could get something much better at another store that's mom and pop run. Marquette is what college basketball is about. And Shaka Smart's got a team that fits his identity. And you know what? They can score. They can really score at a high level. Kolek, Cam Jones is a bucket getter. Oso Ighodara's taken a big step. Omax Prosper has been a real X factor for this team and a spark offensively. So I really like their makeup, and I think they've only gotten better. Stevie Mitchell's a stalwart defender. They're a dangerous, dangerous team, Marquette is. And if I didn't pick Marquette or Creighton, I got to tell you guys, Providence is dangerous yet again.
We're big Providence fans.
I think I'm going to Providence Xavier in March.
I will be at that game.
Really?
Yes.
That's fantastic. All right. So you'll say, oh, Marty Mush on the broadcast. Got it. Sounds good.
Done. I'm going to say that Roundball's the best.
Because
it is.
That's Hunter. What I tell you about this guy? He's the best person ever. But I do want to pick up on one of Fanta's points to you, Hunter. Like, is that a weird? It's got to be a little weird in your mind where it's like, Obviously if you play college basketball to go to the NBA, correct? Like
Yeah,
that's why you're doing it.
probably like majority of kids. Like some kids that like kind of realize what
Some
they
kids
are.
you're not going, yeah. But like you've been a name since your freshman year. You're in your junior year. Like it's a weird, like you want to make your team win, but you also need to put on for yourself for those scouts. Is it a little weird to mess with your head while you're playing, or?
Oh, 100%. Especially if you're not experienced with it and it's new. Like I don't know Kaluma personally, but like I remember my freshman year, like I'm in games thinking like, oh, I got to do X, Y, and Z because if I'm trying to get to the league, like you got to do X, Y, and Z. And then I realized, like I hit a little maturity where the more your team succeeds, the less you have to do. Like if you win a national championship, guys who are averaging like 10, 11, 12 points are getting drafted over guys who are averaging 18, 19 points on teams that don't make the tournament. I think a lot of guys don't realize how much winning can really improve your draft stock. And the more you advance in the tournament, there's less games. That means more people have to watch you. If you're in the national championship game, that's the only game people can watch. That's the only game you're like right now. There's like 80 different college games a day that you can watch. You make it to the national championship, there's only 10 players they can watch at a time.
Yep.
So if you succeed there, that's the best way to boost your draft stock.
That was as smart as what? Fanta comes on, you start fucking being smart. Like what? That was the smartest in depth thing you've ever said on the show.
Sometimes there are tweaks made in February where a team might be a little bit up and down, and sometimes it's addition by subtraction. One of the cast members goes out to dinner, and you end up finding yourselves really playing better basketball. Things are meshing well. You've got stellar analysis presented by High Noon. There's a lot going in the right direction. This is Roundball peaking at the right time and cutting the rotation down.
This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. Next in the Big East, what we got to talk about is UConn, because UConn at one point we were nonstop talking about them, being like, listen, they got two big men. They could just interchange, and they're taller than everybody. They're running the court. They're running people out of the gym. And then all of a sudden, they just took a halt for a second. Like, I know they're still good, but did they peak too early? Were they like, what's your thoughts on UConn?
Well, for a team to start a year 14-0, and for two of the wins to come over Iowa State, who I think we all have plenty of respect for. TJ Otzelberger's been one of the best coaches in college basketball the last 2 years. And for another win to come over Alabama in somewhat commanding fashion. Like, you look at this team and you see what their wins were early, and then you see 14-0, and you say, well, how could they possibly not be one of the 10 best teams in a sport that, frankly, this year has us asking a lot more questions than we have answers? But the fact is, yes, Marty, I do think that Connecticut peaked very early. And I think that their complement of players surprised people. Mm-hmm. I don't think people expected UConn to have the depth that we saw early, to see Alex Karaban stepping up as much as he was, and as much as he has. Alex Karaban will be my Big East Freshman of the Year right now. I think his overall productivity, his minutes, the way that he hits consistent shots from the outside, he's been great for them. Donovan Clingan, people knew about this kid from Bristol Central, stays home in Connecticut. He's 7'2". I don't think people thought that he would play as large of a role as he did early. Now, I think they got to rely on him even more and instill some more confidence in him. Jordan Hawkins, he was great. Yeah, look, that's a guy that he could fill it up. Now, he was hurt. It's funny because he was not funny for him, but it was weird because he was actually banged up for a little bit, but it allowed other guys like Joey Calcaterra and Hassan Diarra and Naheem Aline, Tristan Newton, all to figure out their way. And you saw all this coming together around an All-American caliber player on his best day in Adama Sanogo. To me, here's the thing that UConn has to battle. The pressure. There's real pressure on them, guys. They have legit media coverage. When I say legit media coverage, I mean that that's a team that game ends, win or loss, they've got about 10 at least to 15 people that are covering a game. And Hunter, you know this because you play and you're with the media all the time. Like, that's actually a lot after a game. There's college basketball today, like game by game beat reporters. There's just not as many of them. But UConn's a state university, so they get covered big time. And I do think that the guys have had to deal with the pressure. You start 14-0. You've got a number next to your name. So that becomes difficult to cope with. And I think the other thing is they're a team that, for whatever reason, has appeared the last couple of years to wear down a little bit as the season goes on. They've got to battle that demon here and try to bounce back. And maybe their slump came at the right time too, because now it opens up the door. College basketball is the timing is everything sport, right? You go into March, if you're a little bit off beat, off kilter, your season could end in a day. But if you figure out a way to peak at the right time, here's the thing, Marty, I'm with you, what you just said. You said that you still think UConn can be a really good team. Their makeup's there. Sonogo's got to keep his motor running. Jordan Hawkins has to be the go-to man for this team. And Andre Jackson has to get right. Andre Jackson was named a captain by Dan Hurley. You know why? He's a freak athlete. He's a great kid. He has perimeter shot inconsistencies. He's got to overcome that. And like Adam Sandler and the Waterboy, just get it like the kicker who was afraid to kick, remember?
Yeah.
Remember in the movie?
Oh, yeah.
He's just got to hit the crap out of that thing. Like Andre Jackson has just got to run through the wall, because if he gets going, then you've got Hawkins, you've got Jackson, you've got Sonogo. There's no question that Connecticut can be a really dangerous team. But I think offensively, their shot selection is paramount to what their success ends up being. They have a huge game Tuesday night at the XL Center at home against Marquette. That's going to be a fascinating game.
No, you say this a lot. Like, I say this a lot too, because even Michigan is going through it too. Like right now, honestly, their past two games you guys played was the best you've looked. You've had an injury. Like, these teams don't even know their rotation completely until like February sometimes, because they're still trying things out. And like UConn, like you said, I'd rather be playing this basketball now than in three weeks. You know, like sometimes, like that's where I always say Gonzaga, they're playing the best basketball all the time, and then all of a sudden, sometimes their halt comes in March. Like, I think UConn's is not a team I want to play in March at all. The way they like you said, Alabama win too. I don't know. The Big East is so weird to me because the bottom's so bad, but the top is good, like really good, and it's like there's no in between.
I don't think there's any more of a bottom that you could get right now than Georgetown. It's bad.
No, there's not. But you know this, Hunter. I do think there's something to be said sometimes with your conference having a bottom. You're absolutely right.
That's true.
Georgetown's clearly at the bottom. I think that sometimes there's something to be said about being able to just win games over teams as opposed to life in the Big Ten.
Huh.
I mean, the fact of the matter is this. We form these views on Big Ten teams. Why? Because Illinois lost to Iowa, now we're down again on Illinois.
Illinois is good, man. Illinois can beat anybody on any given day.
Yeah, Purdue's still my number one team in the country. And they're going to be when I put out power rankings on Monday morning. You know why? You're allowed to lose.
Especially in that environment.
At Indiana, yeah, bro. Like, of course you can.
I could have told you that. Like,
I mean, Zach Edey also just missed 4 shots. This guy's, I'm telling you, he's too tall. I told him to his face. I told him, and Hunter, he's even tall. He's too tall. But I don't know. I think this year, do you agree? Like, this year in college basketball is like one of the more chaotic ones there's been in a while, because I was saying this the other episode, this year there's no Paolos and there's no Chets. There's just not. There's very good players. Brandon Miller is amazing. Keontae George is amazing as a freshman. But, like, there's no one that's like this superstar. But as a college basketball fan, I love that shit. I love when there's like there's so many teams unranked that can win the national championship, and I love that.
This tournament's gonna be crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, go buy your keg now. Just have it on standby for your backyard.
Fant, you
And-
want to know something disgusting?
What's that?
My brother is getting married the second day of March Madness.
Oh, you get it.
You believe that shit? Like, I'm the best man. Like, that's the most, and he loves college basketball.
Wait a
Loves
minute. He's getting married on St. Patrick's Day?
it. Yep.
Does he know that's bad luck? Come on. What
He's
is your
obviously
brother?
not the-
Is your brother a sports fan?
My brother's the biggest sports fan. Like he went to Seton Hall. He's a diehard Seton
Oh.
Hall fan. Yeah, I know you went there too. It's brutal.
We might have to rescind his degree.
What's
What's your brother's name?
Nick Cahill.
And
He's
what's
like-
his fiance? And what's the fiance's name?
Caitlin. And
Nick and Caitlin, God bless you. Nick and Caitlin, God bless you. But please do not ruin the first Friday of the NCAA tournament.
I'm
For
gonna be the
heaven's
guy at the church, like when they're getting married, like looking at my phone, like for the
You have
scores
to.
and
You
stuff.
have
That's
to.
gonna be me.
You have
Like
to.
it's sad. Like this guy loves sports, man. Like he's the guy. He's a stat guy for the Devils. Like he gives the announcers his stats. Like that's how much this man loves sports as a second job. And he did this to me. It's one of the meanest things someone's ever done to me.
Yeah, it really is cruel. I mean, it's just wrong. It's cruel. I want you to give him a call tomorrow morning. I want you to say, Nick, Caitlin, I've got a new wedding planner for you. His name's Jordan Bohannon. And March 17th doesn't work for him, but he'll be ready for the wedding about May 17th.
Yeah, he's got G League money now, so he's
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he doesn't need this effing show.
no, not at all.
Man, God, I mean, good luck to them. But that is just cruel. The
No, it's
St.
fucked up.
Patrick's Day NCAA tournament, nothing. There should be no plans in the calendar.
No
Your
plans.
only plan should be to watch Hunter Dickinson at 2:30 on TNT.
You better fucking get there, Hunter. You better-
That was great. That was crazy last year. We were the first game of March Madness.
Oh yeah, you were. It is true. I have a Villanova theory that I need to throw by you, Fanta. It may be dumb,
Okay.
but I was thinking about Jay Wright today because when Jay Wright retired, it was a surprise, right?
Yeah.
Do you think he coached for 21 years? He
Uh-huh.
has 2 national championships, like
Yeah.
4 Final Fours. Like this guy was no matter what is still looked at as like the best coach in college basketball. He's created that what you said, one of the best like franchises in college basketball in Villanova. Do you think he left because it was like he doesn't need another national championship? What's that going to do? And like it's kind of he knew he was going to rebuild a little bit because he's still working. It's not like he just went into the abyss. Like I think he was like, why do I like give it to Neptune now and just see what happens because he knows they weren't going to be. They just made the Final Four. And they're not going to be that good this year. I don't want to go through a rebuild. I think that has to be the answer.
Look, if I'm 61 and I can spend every weekend watching college basketball with Bill Raftery and calling the game of the week in the sport, and I've gone to 3 out of the last 6 Final Fours at a small Catholic school in Philadelphia, and I've got a beautiful wife and a beautiful family, like I'm signing up for that life.
That's where I don't fault him at all. Like, believe me, like that's where I'm like, I'd rather no stress, no recruiting, and just call basketball games.
Yeah, and you know what? No stress, no recruiting. Well, what's the recruiting look like? Here's the thing. It's not the same. Like now you have to re-recruit your own kids to the roster. You got to re-recruit your own guys and keep them intact. It's like fighting for a contract extension. And to do that, you got to get money. And I think Jay thought to himself, I got this attitude, tradition. We do things a certain way. Yeah, guess what the certain way is? It's called green, okay? And it's going to be handed out. And that's what a kid more and more is going to be wanting. And it's part of the equation. And I think he honestly said, I'm not Michigan, and I'm not Texas, and I'm not Florida, and I'm not Ohio State, and I'm not UCLA. I'm a small private school in Conshohocken, Villanova, Pennsylvania. Villanova is not in downtown Philadelphia.
Mhm.
They're in a suburb outside, and frankly, they've got some money. They don't have the money that these other schools have. And they don't have the NIL to the degree that these other schools have. And I think Jay thought to himself, I can't do it the way that I meant to get into the business. And I got nothing left to prove.
Yep.
I got nothing left to prove. When you combine those two things, he said, you know what? I'll go out on top. I'll still give good things to the game. But don't tell me he still doesn't have his love for the sport. He sure as hell has it. He didn't want to go through reasons that he didn't get into the sport for. He didn't want to combat those, and that's why he followed Roy, and that's why he followed Jay. And as sharp-dressed of Coach K, rather, as much as Jay looks like the sharpest dressed man and has this George Clooney look, he's 61. He's 61 years old. He is older than people think. And they don't make him like him. Frankly, he might be the most beautiful 61-year-old man in the world.
I was going
But
to say
he
that.
wants to enjoy life. He wants to enjoy retirement.
I didn't know when I was like doing my research on him. I didn't know he was 61 because he's just a hot guy. You could say it. He's a good looking man. And
He really could go for a
when I
pitcher,
saw
though.
21 seasons, I was like, oh shit! I did not know he coached that long.
Yeah, I don't think people realize how much of a grind NCAA coaching is. It's really a year-round job. Because you gotta
Especially
think about it.
now, bro.
You
Like,
have the season, so it starts in September all the way till March, essentially, for every team. And then you have to recruit. And then you have to recruit your own players, like Fanta said. And then you have to keep recruiting for the next year. Like, it's really just on the road nonstop. I don't know how coaches do it, especially now with NIL, where you have to recruit your own players. You can't even be sure that they're not going to leave you after 1 year if you don't play them.
And Hunter, you got to be a psychologist.
Yeah.
it's also true.
I mean, you know, and it's important. Don't get me wrong, but you got to deal with the players, their circles, their families. I mean, there's parts of this that have nothing to do with what you're running down to with 424. That's the easy part now for
That
coaches.
is the easy part now, yeah.
You know, I always laugh. I laugh when people are like, wow, this team found it. Or, man, this coach is having a great bounce back year. Like, the guy didn't forget how to coach.
No.
You know what I mean? Things are clicking right in the locker room. The guys are happy. They meshed. They're getting their money. They're having fun in their dorm rooms. Life is good, man.
That what you said too, like every kid's parent will see a tweet and be like, "This guy's getting $1 million from NIL." Everyone thinks that their kid deserves $1 million in NIL, and that's like, I don't even know half of that shit's true when that much money comes out. Like, we know Miami has money, and that Wong and Pack thing in the beginning of the year, like he's getting 7 mil, this guy's getting 4 mil, whatever it was. It's like, that's insane to have to deal with that. Because especially these 18-year-old kids coming into college. And that's what I always say about Georgetown. Like, Patrick Ewing's the best. Like, basketball, Ewing's the man. But these 18-year-old kids don't give a shit about him anymore.
Yeah, that's a problem.
They don't. And it's sad. It's like they don't respect him as much as they should because they don't even know what he's actually did in the NBA.
Hunter, what was your first job?
Well, I used to cut my neighbor's grass.
Yeah, I cut Mr. Busta's lawn. This lawn was an acre, Hunter. He paid me $20. I got paid crap.
Yeah,
I was a florist at Home Depot.
His lawn was very small, and I got 30.
How about Marty was a florist at Home Depot? Could you see him putting in your mums and daisies?
Fanta, I was a florist at Home Depot, and then I worked at counterterrorism. So that was my life before that.
Some people are actually going to think you were in the CIA.
I mean, I literally
Oh,
was like,
if you're in the CIA, run for the hills, America.
yeah, that's what I say. If you ever have a problem with what's happening with the world, I was in counterterrorism at one point.
Jeez, oh man. You were selling daisies at Home Depot. Better have gotten your ass quickly to the flower department when I hit that helpline. You know the help button in Home Depot? I
Yep.
judge a Home Depot by how fast a worker gets to me when I ask for help. You were slow. You were slow as you know what coming over to me.
I'd pay to see Fanta on the helpline at Home Depot, just giving someone hell, but like really nicely.
Yeah. What's the slogan? You can do it. We can help. Help me.
Yeah, help me fast.
Yeah, help me.
We'll get you out of here soon, Fanta. But what? So even if it's outside the Big East, who right now, if you had to pick a Final Four or contenders, you don't even have to do a Final Four, just any contenders right now. You said Purdue's still your number one.
Yeah, if I had to pick a Final Four right now, I'm going to go with Baylor. I love the way that they're coming on. I think that Cryer, Flagler, and George make them so dangerous. And I think Scott Drew will have them ready defensively. I love the way that team is playing. I think they're peaking at the right time. Houston is tough as nails. It feels like a storybook script that one of the city's own, the city's team is going to be in the Final Four. Houston, to me, is in that Final Four. You know, guys, I understand the trepidation and the concerns and whatnot. Man, I've been convinced here. And if I go down, I'll go down. But I would take Purdue. They've done too many things right, and that guard play is too lethal. And their ability to make your defense work, then makes your life hard on offense because you have to work to the degree you have to work. So I'm going to go with Purdue. As for the fourth team, God, I don't trust Tennessee. All right? I don't really trust Virginia. You know, Alabama, to me, is the team that I still think is going to find their way there because I think Brandon Miller is the best all-around player on the best day in college basketball. I love the way that the kids played. So I'll go with Alabama. I'll throw them in. I'm not buying Kansas to the degree everybody's buying Kansas at. I think the Big 12 will get a team there, but I actually think it's going to be Baylor. That might be a different pick for people. If I had to pick a team that I didn't pick out of those four, the fifth team, I'm still standing strong with UCLA. Jaime Jaquez is the epitome of a winner. Tiger Campbell is an elite orchestrator. We just don't talk about UCLA because they play at 11 o'clock at night. I love the Bruins. I love how hard they play, and I love their defense. I love UCLA's makeup.
I don't know if they're the best team in the Pac-12, though.
Isn't that crazy?
I think there's another team in the Pac-12 that's better than them, Fanta.
So here's the thing on Arizona. Kirk Kriisa and Courtney Ramey are a little bit inconsistent at times. Like, I think Arizona's best, Hunter, could be argued as the best in the country.
For sure.
But it's funny. I want to see what you think of this. This is kind of the Big Ten sort of, I think, one of the interesting issues in the league, at least in recent years. Isn't this interesting? Sometimes the best team in your conference isn't the team that's necessarily the most fit to win in March.
Definitely.
That makes sense?
That is true.
Oh, that is true. The only thing I was thinking about Purdue is like, because last year you'd be like, how did they lose to that St. Peter's team? Like, how obviously that was a storybook, whatever, but like Jaden Ivey would still have Zach Edey and Williams. Like, how did they lose? Sometimes there's only one ball thing where it's like Ivy needs that ball a lot, but now you're seeing these freshman guards do what they have to do, but also get it to Zach Edey at all points in the game. And that's why they've, I feel like, been so dangerous, because that man touches the ball every single time they go down.
And why not?
And I said the same thing. I said to Hunter, I think the same thing should go for your team. You should touch the ball. You're a better passer than Edey. Like, you should touch. And that's why I like Purdue as well. It's just they also have had every time you come to March, as of recent, you're like, oh, they're going to make the Final Four, and they just don't. That's also, this goes for the Big Ten in itself. Funny you forgot Duke in that Final Four.
Yeah, and Michigan.
And Michigan, yeah, very funny, Fanta. That's a good joke, you know.
It is, yeah. It is a good joke. I thought you were going to say, earlier when you were talking about the faces of March. We don't have Paolo, and who else did you bring up that we don't have? We don't
I
have.
brought up Chet, but should have been Coach K.
Yeah, we don't have Chad, and we don't have Mike Krzyzewski. I mean, I'm just shocked that you wouldn't bring him up. Or is Coach K coming back for March Madness? Or
who knows, man? I'm surprised. Hey, I'll give him credit, though. I'll give him credit. He's not in the stands every game like Williams over there.
He did live up to his word. He did. I'm going to give Coach K gets a tip of the cap because he said he wouldn't be around at games, and he has not been around. And I'm not saying I would care.
I wouldn't either, but I thought he'd be around the entire time.
Totally.
And because Roy Williams is on, he's had mostly like every game. So it's like I don't give a shit. It's just I hate UNC, so I'll always talk shit about it. But
Roy was at Mother's in New Orleans at the Final Four. He was housing po' boys and enjoying life. Nobody has done retirement better than Roy Williams.
Yeah, he's always got 6 shoes on too. But I also screw him. I mean,
oh, come on! You wouldn't stay over at his house?
No. Oh, absolutely.
Well, I've been to Coach K's house, Marty. You'd like it. It's nice, cozy.
One day you're just gonna have to call him for me, Hunter. You're gonna have to. I mean, the fact that you haven't texted him to try and come on the show is insane.
Hunter, start to do your part, Hunter.
Like Fanta, don't even get me started, man.
Hunter, elevate. Yeah.
I asked him how many people have recruited you. Jay Wright today on the broadcast said he was recruiting you.
Oh! He said that. Oh, I gotta next time. Next time I tell Jay Wright, I gotta talk to him about
next time you tell Jay Wright, how about you tell him on this show? You dumb.
Well, no, I don't have his number. He didn't really recruit. He didn't recruit me. That's guy.
He didn't.
No,
Are you accusing Jay Wright of lying?
I know he liked my game a lot, but I don't think he recruited me. And to be fair, it was pretty smart because I don't think I'm a Villanova player anyways.
No.
So,
absolutely not a Villanova.
No, you're not. Let me tell you something right now. If you were at Villanova, you wouldn't be on this podcast.
No, absolutely. Gillespie is really
because
hard.
Colin Gillespie plays Villanova basketball.
I became friends with Gillespie, and like it was tough enough to get him on the podcast when he was a senior. Like senior, they let loose a little bit.
He'd be a good guest on this one.
As
a pass player.
Yeah, I actually should get him on soon because he's great. All right, last question.
Oh no, last question. We still got 17 minutes before Jordan arrives.
I mean, this guy again. We'll never know when he'll come on. Last question. Do you think Michigan gets in the tournament?
Well,
I want you to look him in his face and
be honest. We don't want to hear this razzle-dazzle answer.
Right now, they have 2 quad 1 wins. That's what we know.
Yeah, there's no razzle-dazzle here. Let's take a look here right now because I'm doing this live. I'm not giving some answer that's baseless on this show. I'm going to give something that's worthwhile, okay? Here we go, baby. Michigan. So I'm pulling this up with America. You've got 2 quadrant 1 wins. You've had 10 opportunities. You've won 2 of them. All right. You're 3-1 in quad 2. That's good. You're 2-0 in quad 3. And you've only played 6 quadrant 4 games. Now, you do have a quadrant 4 loss. That kind of negates one of the quad 1 wins. Here's the deal.
It's a bad loss.
Here's the deal.
At the time, I really didn't realize how bad that hurts you.
Yeah. Yes. You know what? Here's the deal. Okay? The deal is this. You enter this week. Nobody understands this. They're like, well, if they do this, then they're going to make it. You got to take it game by effing game. Okay? And you've got to take care of business over Nebraska on Wednesday night.
Have to. Saturday
evening in Ann Arbor at Chrysler. I don't know what else I need to say. I'm going to speak for Hunter Dickinson. If you're a Michigan student with a pulse, you're going to be in that building. You're going to make it the toughest in college basketball because the Wolverines have to win that game.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a week from right now, when you're doing this podcast, 2 things are for certain. Number 1, is that Jordan Bohannon won't be on time. Number 2 is that Hunter Dickinson will be smiling because he will be coming off a win over Trace Jackson Davis and the Hoosiers.
Finally,
I need you on this podcast more.
So for me, here's the thing. I'm not really impressed with Wisconsin. All right. You're going to get them twice. You get them twice in 4 games. You're going to get Michigan State at home in prime time. All right.
We owe them. We owe them.
To me, the Wolverine season comes down to 2 games at the end of the regular season. At Illinois and then at Indiana. If they avoid any further blemishes and they beat the Hoosiers at home, if they win one of those final 2 games in the regular season, they're still going to have too much. And you can't tell me the committee doesn't want to see Hunter Dickinson on the big dance floor. Wolverines make it. They hear their name called.
Love that, Fanta. I love that. Hey, I agree, though, because the last 2 games you just had were like must wins. And the next one is, if you lose the next one, just get off. Just leave. But even though they did win tonight.
Tommy Aga had 30.
Nebraska did beat Penn State tonight.
Jed Howard with 16, though, today. Kobe Buffkin with 13. The point is, when there's some perimeter play, when Michigan is getting some guard play, we know that they've got an All-American inside. But when Michigan's got some guard play, obviously losing Llewellyn was tough. That'll be taken into account. The committee takes injuries into account.
And
I like the way certain things are coming along.
Doug's starting to get some confidence too, which is because he's only got 7 games under his
dangerous
belt.
Team.
And Joey Baker gave him something off the bench. Gave him 8 points.
Marty.
It helps.
That bastard fucking yell at Joey Baker still every goddamn day. The amount of times I told that man to shoot at Duke, and then he came on the podcast the other week, and I was like, Joey, I'm not going to hold it back. You better shoot the ball. You're a good shooter. You don't shoot.
And what did he say?
He's like, I know. He gave me the media answer. Man, I just got to get more confidence, give it to my teammates. It's like, no. Shoot the ball, because he shot it today and shot well. But yes, that is John Fanta, my guy. You always. I don't know how you have so much memory of all these players' names, and you just throw shit. You have a book in your head, and anything about Big East, anything college basketball, you're my first go-to guy, and I love having you on. Hopefully, we'll have you on again before the tournament, so we know some what to expect in the Big East, especially. And I appreciate you coming on. I really do.
Whatever you guys need, I'm here for Roundball. Great to be with you. Love talking college hoops. Hunter, prove me right. Marty, I'll see you in March.
Yes, you will, and you will say the Roundball on the call.
Done. Roundball's going to happen March the 1st. Xavier at Providence, Friartown, pasta, meatballs, Roundball. Enough said.
I love that. That is John Fanta. Go check him out on Twitter. Go check him out on the Big East. He's on mostly every call, it seems like, in the Big East. So go check him out. Appreciate you, Fanta.
Thank you,
guys.